Oh, it's just starting to get good there.
That's me on the drums, man. That's Daddy on the drums. I always tell that to my kids. That's Daddy on the drums.
Welcome back to the Twin Tail Studios podcast.
Welcome, not back, but what's the original welcome? Like, if you're not coming back, you're coming for the first time, because they're gonna have a lot of people coming in for this episode for the first time, right?
No,
because
maybe there'll be more people coming in.
They'll be confused by the branding because Apple Podcasts won't update our. Although I don't know the percentages of people who listen to Apple Podcasts versus like wherever else they get their
Spotify
podcasts.
Or
yeah, maybe Apple's in the minority. I don't know, but they won't update our cover art. Anyway, I'm Brady J. Sadler. I keep the J in there because I write books with that, and it's going to pop up a lot, so keep it persistent.
I'm Adam Sadler. I keep it simple.
And we are the co-founders of Twin Tail Studios, which is the company that houses this podcast you're listening to now.
And I think this is episode 3 of said podcast?
This is episode 3 of our new venture. And it's a big episode because today, we're recording this right now on the 10th of August, which is a Sunday, which is a week after Gen Con. We'll talk about that later. But so in 2 days, when this airs, the 12th, is when our press release goes out, and it's official. The name of our first flagship game. Is flagship the right word, or is that always like the big
premiere?
Because flagship's usually like your first thing. But anyway, I
thought flagship was just the one you sold.
Yeah, it's an important one.
We don't know what this is going to be yet, but it's going to be our first game. We know that. So
currently it is our flagship because it's going to be our only one. So Malice of Light Adventures has been announced.
The Malice of Light Adventures.
I said that. The was silent. It's the European spelling.
So you didn't say it.
I did. I implied it. The Malice of Light Adventures is going to be on Gamefound, as our press release specified, and there should be a link, I'm assuming, to that.
We just finished setting that project page up, so it might, it'll be there when the press release is sent out. I'm sure, but
yeah. And before we dig too much, because most of this episode is going to be about us talking about this game, developing this game, coming to how this game came to be. Before we dig into that, how about we talk about what have you been up to? How Adam, you tell me?
Well,
how Gen Con was.
Well, Gen Con was actually pretty good. I wasn't even planning on going this year, which was weird. We covered this in an episode of our other podcast, Joint Operations podcast. We talked about Brady had signed up for an author table in Authors Avenue. Didn't end up getting into it, which was a bummer for him. But then, a month before Gen Con, he got a call randomly saying, "Hey, weeks before Gen Con. So yeah, we have space now. Do you want it?" And he said, "Sure." So he got an extra exhibitor badge for me to help out. So I ended up going. That was good because it was the same time that lined up with us starting a new company. So we had plenty of things to talk about, catch up with industry people who we haven't seen in a while. And it's cool to go to Gen Con because every time I go, I feel like my current day job, stuff like that, I don't feel like people know me or like I fit in or anything like that. But I go to Gen Con and I feel like right at home. People recognize me and come talk to me, and catching up with old friends and stuff. It's really cool. It is exhausting though. As an introvert myself, like socializing is exhausting. Not only that, I got very sick. I was fine throughout the convention, but went home on Sunday, mowed the lawn because I'm weird like that. But then the next day I woke up and I was just feeling awful, and throughout the entire week I was just miserable, horribly sick and misery. So
I don't think we even saw each other last week, and because we were just recovering from Gen Con, but somehow I was fine. But then this past couple of days I've been feeling like crap, mostly not sick like you, but more just getting gunk. And it's kind of that con crud, but it came a week late because it only started yesterday really, and today is kind of bad. But
I'm still recovering. I feel fine. I still sound kind of sick, but I was having fever and got chills and stuff, and just could hardly stay awake. It was pretty rough week for me.
Yeah, Gen Con was weird. It was fun, exciting, like everything you said. From an author standpoint, it's kind of weird because I remember last year I was very jealous because I had just put out. I only had 2 books out, or well, 3 books, because the Withered Roots had just come out, and I was getting ready to release Relic Myers. But when I was roaming the Authors Avenue last year, it felt like it was like super busy, and like I was talking to some other authors, and they were like slinging books, like doing really good sales. And I was like, oh man, I got to do that next year. So this year, it was good. Like, I mean, I had pretty steady. I haven't done a multiple day convention as an author, so like it's hard to judge how sales go, but I've, over the course of the entire weekend, that was the best sales I've ever had at a convention, obviously. But each individual day, it's funny because I could go up to Lafayette, Indiana and do this mosey down Main Street thing where I'm just setting up as the only author in a street fair with food trucks and stuff, and I sell almost like twice as what I was selling at Gen Con in a single day. And I spoke with some of the other authors there, and they were saying how it kind of felt a little different this year. And I'm not sure if it's because people are, tightening the purse strings because tariff stuff, or like, I don't know what it is, but there was just kind of a different vibe. Even though it was all sold out all 4 days, and people were,
tons of people.
Yeah, people were clogging up the alley with checking out all these different game publishers and stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure what was up with that, but it was still fun. I'm not like complaining about lack of sales or anything like that, because it was great networking, made a lot of new fans. Several people came up, and they must be local, because they said they were like talking to their friends or whatever, and they're pointing at the Malice of Light, book 1, The Acrid Sky. They're like, oh yeah, there's the sequel to The Acrid Sky, and they said they got it from Barnes and Noble. I was like, oh cool, my signings paid off, because no one really shows up to those when I do signings, but like when the books get put in the stores, apparently it pays off. So that was cool. Yeah, overall, Gen Con was great. Awesome networking opportunities. We got to meet a lot of people we've worked with in the past. We got to we got to see Andrew Navarro from Earthborn Rangers and Andrew Fisher. They were both there. That was cool, getting to catch up with them. And there were some other, like Steamforge games, got to catch up with Sherwin from Steamforge. That was cool.
Also, finally got to meet a couple of people from Gamefound.
Yeah, Alex, Cam, right? Cam was the one. Cam Bradley. Yeah.
It's funny because Alex had reviewed some of our games previously. I've definitely seen his videos, but I'd actually never met him in person, so it's cool to finally meet him. Super nice guy. Got along really well. Looking forward to working with them in our on our first project, because like Brady mentioned in our press release, we are going to be on Gamefound with our initial project. So. Yep.
And so other than that, Gen Con was fun because I picked up the Fate of the Fellowship, which we haven't played yet. We got to play that new Pandemic Lord of the Rings. It's getting great reviews, and it looks cool. Read the rules and stuff, so it seems pretty straightforward. So we'll try that out
with Mitch.
Mitch, get over here. And then I got the Arkham Horror RPG Deluxe Adventure. It's like I forget the name of it. It's like Terra something.
The Antarctica one?
Yeah, but I forget the name of the boxes, but it's really cool. I was really impressed with that package. Like, it's got several different books in there. And
I remember we played through that starter box with Scotty and Mitch last year at Gen Con, and it's cool. I like that system. It's a cool system. It's also, I like the components they use for it. It's not as far. They didn't go as far as like they're back in the old day, the old Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition or whatever, that was very component heavy. This is a nice little middle ground where it's like some components, so the character sheets look really cool.
It was just those cards. Like, I felt like everything else about that system was right, except for the cards. Because like so much of it was just so helpful from a GM standpoint. I
mean, I liked it, but it was just so much storage, like so much to keep track of and everything.
Storage was nuts.
Like, there's so many tokens, many tokens.
I also picked up. Shout out to Mike from One Stop Co-op Shop, who kept raving about Unstoppable. Him and Peter both, I think that was like their game of the year, and I hadn't heard much talked about that one, so I picked it up. It's a Renegade game. I picked that up when I was Gen Con. Haven't tried it out yet. It looks pretty cool. So hopefully, I didn't know it was a card crafting game where you have a sleeve and you put in those different like shapes of cards to make a card. I don't love that because it's kind of gimmicky, like for me, but anxious to try it out. I just bought it on impulse because I saw it. And then there was another game I bought, which was what was it? I'll think about it later. I
can think about it while I say what I grabbed at Gen Con.
Oh yeah, the expansion of Mandalorian Adventures from Corus.
You bought that there?
Yeah, because it was there on the spot.
I was a little kind of disappointed with the games at Gen Con. Not because there was bad games. It's just like usually at Gen Con there's some big titles or big announcements that I'm excited about. This year, the one I did went and grabbed the D&D Horrified from Ravensburger. Am I pronouncing that correctly, right?
Yep.
Everybody says Ravensburger, but I'm pretty sure it's Ravensburger. But I had to actually stand in line for that one, and I did because I saw it set up. It looked cool. I like the old Horrified game, so I like the D&D theme. I grabbed that. We played it one of those nights. I think it was Saturday night or maybe Friday night. It's pretty fun. A pretty fun game. I also grabbed this little tin, like dungeon in your pocket game called Dark Tomb. I saw this at Gen Con last year, and I was like kind of intrigued by it. I was like, oh, cool, I'll check this out. It was like $20. I got that, tried it out. Wasn't that crazy about it. It's fine. If you want a whole dungeon crawl to play in your pocket, it's pretty much what you expect, I think. And I also grabbed my daughter a copy of the Sims board game because she loves playing The Sims. Even though she doesn't play a lot of board games anymore, but she just like wanted it as a little collector's item, so I grabbed that. It was like $20 or something, so it wasn't a big investment.
I'm not one to review board games or productions like that because products are what they are, but that one did not look enticing to me.
It was. I looked at the rules, and it's like you're just trying to collect 8 points, by completing little tasks or whatever. So,
I did want to mention the really exciting thing for me was we got to see Contra, like the Contra Reloaded, which was our design that got fumbled in the whole blacklist situation. But Kess is they were originally a toy company, but they're getting into tabletop games, and they're taking that on. And they've kind of reconfigured the product, and it's coming out again. So it's called Contra Reloaded with a new cover, and they added like the boss sculpts and stuff. It looks really cool. So
it's a shame they had to have to deal with renaming it or whatever, because like it kind of makes it a little bit of a confusing product, but it looks cool. A nice thick box of lots of content, and it's a pretty fun little game. Like,
it's one that I have always been kind of like bummed out that I don't have a copy. I mean, I'm bummed enough that it didn't release properly, but I don't even have a copy of it. Like, I never got a final production copy, so I'm excited just to have it, because I remember during the playtesting, like, I played that prototype so much. I just wanted to see the final version of it because the production looked great. So great to finally have it coming. So yeah, that was Gen Con. I'm not sure if you have anything else you want to add for the Gen Con wrap, but
no.
Looking forward to next year when we have a booth, hopefully, with the Twin Tail Studios branding and everything. But
yeah, she'll try to figure that out because we haven't got a response yet on that. But we're trying to maybe get a booth in under our new title.
Yeah, I don't know if they let you. Well, we're trying to figure out if they let you upgrade, because I can come in again as an author and have an author table next year, but I want to know if I can like upgrade that to a booth and still have like the grandfathered in treatment. So we'll figure.
I mean, technically, we have like exhibited in the past with other publishers, so I mean, we should have some kind of what do you call that, priority?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see. We'll try to figure that out because we'd love to have a booth, because the goal is to have at least the Malice of Light Adventures there, maybe some other small game if we could make it happen. I mean, I'm not going to be too ambitious, but
if Malice of Light Adventures funds way more than we plan, like way more than we think it will, then we would probably start working on a small card game with another designer that we've been talking to about a design we've
been flirting with.
Yeah. So it's very possible that if Malice of Light Adventures does well enough on Gamefound, it might be able to kickstart a side little card game that we could publish around the same time, which would be nice. It'd be nice to have a couple of things to offer at Gen Con.
Yeah, and another benefit of Gen Con was because we've had so many existing connections throughout the industry over the years, coming in, it's not really like clean slate coming in. Like, a lot of people start a company, they have to kind of scramble to get all this stuff in line, but we had a lot of manufacturers approaching us and bringing us samples and wanting to do quotes, so we have so many connections already to follow up on. So once we have all of the componentry in place for the Malice of Light Adventures, we're going to hit the ground running and be able to like print this right after funding. So it's really exciting because there's so many people wanting to partner already, so very exciting stuff. But that's Gen Con. I think we should talk a little bit about the news. Like, what's going on with the studio news. Well,
as Brady mentioned at the start of the top of this podcast, We have a press release out that should be out there now. Like you should be able to find.
At the very least, it will be on our website. But I also sent it to like every single outlet I could think of, and I'm gonna keep doing more.
Hopefully, somebody has posted about it. But basically, we are formally announcing the founding of our company,
the formation, and the planned release of our first title, which is the Malice of Light Adventures, a cooperative roguelike boss battler board game for 1 to 4 players based on the Malice of Light book series written by some hack that some people have heard of. Brady J. Sadler. BJ Sadler.
Yes, and we're very excited about it. This is our first official crowdfunding project that we are managing all on our own without any kind of company, publisher, like making decisions that we're unaware of or whatever. This is something we're doing all on our own. We're working with, I think we did mention this in a previous episode where it's also in the press release. Tom Mason and Chris Doman are 2 guys we've known for quite a while. I've known Tom for like 17 plus years. And we've known Chris for maybe half that.
Almost 10 years. Cause I think, from our working relationship with like, Dark Frontier.
He worked on Street Masters around 2016.
Yeah, but even before that, Dark Frontier, he was the designer on that. I thought.
Yeah. So we've known them both for a long time. And they've both have lots of experience in the industry, as well. And they're fun to work with. It's been fun so far. Can't wait to show you guys what they're working on.
And this is not relevant to them at all. This is more just, I think it's important that we say, the Twin Tail Studios right now, currently, it's just me and Adam. Like we founded this company by ourselves just because we wanted something ourselves, because we've had some bad luck working with publishers, and that's not to throw shade. We've just had like some unfortunate circumstances come up with various publishers we've worked with, or our game lines have suffered either licensing issues, reconfiguration, acquisitions with publishers, all kinds of various things where a lot of our game lines hit dead ends, and it was really frustrating. So this is our opportunity to just do it ourselves. So Twin Tail Studios is legally just me and Adam. It's our company. Hopefully we expand that, if we do well enough with the games, we can start, growing the team. But for the Malice of Light Adventures, our creative team, as Adam said, is me, him, and Chris and Tom. They're going to be our partners on this project. So
yep, we actually just signed an agreement with that last week, so made it official. That is now for our first contract as a publisher. We've also
legally binding.
We also sent out our first art payment. So like a international wire transfer. So that was next. The business is official now. So.
Yeah, the gears are working. The gears have been working.
As Brady mentioned, it is just us, and also you should probably mention that we're not employed right now. Like we're not employed by the studio. We have day jobs, and this is something that we're doing on our own. We put up some money to start the company. So it's all a personal investment about what we want to do, and how we want to do it. And
as an aside to that, I want to know what I'm projecting, like probably on social media, but almost everybody that doesn't really know me personally, that just knows me through there, assumes that I'm a full-time author. Like they assume it's my job.
That's all you talk about.
It's weird. It's like I wish if I had a nickel for every time somebody assumed that, I'd probably would be a full-time author. But yeah, I work a day job just like everybody else. So
yeah. So I mean that's obviously not. We're not like we didn't start this company to get rich or anything like that, but it'd be cool if it did well enough that eventually we could do it full time. That'd be fun, because we've done that before. We've made games full time and we've really enjoyed it. And if we could actually have control over the business side of things, I think it would go a lot better. But that's just me being optimistic.
It would definitely be a lot better.
So yeah, that's the big news right now, is just the fact that we finally announced what we're working on. We've been kind of deep in the game design process. Hopefully we're going to be getting it into external testing soon, so we can kind of get some other people's opinions on the game, because honestly that's when the game starts to really take shape. You can test it yourself and you have something that functions and works, but once you start getting other people involved, you get other opinions and you start seeing things from different angles, and the game just gets better. So the game we expect to change, Not drastically, but not from the foundation. But
yeah, I mean, it already has changed a ton just from alpha testing and everything. But and this could be probably details of our next little segment talking about the game development side of things. But it is nice to have a little update where we are currently working on the rule book, so we can actually get the content tested by new groups and have people learn the game and give us feedback, because that's moving it toward one step closer to just wider play testing. So it's moving along. Things are pretty steady, and I haven't been as excited about the project as I am now, because when you get over that hump, that initial design hump where you're feeling like there's something missing, and you finally fill that gap, and now it's just like, all right, well, let's get some more people involved now, because it's working well.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and if that's something that interests you, I will mention that we will be running external playtests. We invite people to playtest, on their own. We will just have you sign an NDA we have just to have you on file. You would probably need access. You would probably, to playtest easily, you would need a Discord account, and you would also need to have a copy of Tabletop Simulator, or at least one person in the group would at least have to be able to provide that for everybody.
Yeah, we might be able to provide like print and play materials for people who want to go that route, but that's not guaranteed. So right now we mostly just use Tabletop Simulator for testing, because it's faster to iterate on. So
yeah, it's not always the most fun to play on. We understand that.
I hate it.
We struggle with it ourselves. There's nothing really that competes with just having something on the table and using your hands. But Tabletop Simulator is a good way to judge lots of things about a game. So it's what we use, and unfortunately, it's kind of what we're limited to right now with external testing. So
yeah, and then as far as the project itself,
before I get into that, I was going to mention that if you are interested in that, I would suggest joining the Discord, because we'll put an announcement up there for playtesting, and that we'll be managing it within Discord and private channels within that Discord server.
Yeah, and join the Discord anyway, because we're going to always poll like listener questions. So if you ever have any questions about either like game design, the business side of things, or just future projects we're planning on, we're pretty transparent about that stuff, because being a smaller company, which is us two right now, we're happy to talk about our ambitions and projects we want to do. Nothing's set in stone, obviously, but yeah, just join the Discord and you can keep up with everything and drop in your questions, and we'll chat about them on the air.
Brady did actually post a teaser image of the game last night, which was Saturday night. So people on Discord got to see, the unveiling of the box art and everything before the press release dropped. And we also gathered up some listener questions to see, we'll talk about those on this episode. So if you're on the Discord, you gotta see stuff early. So that's cool.
I used to have a bad habit of just posting stuff on my Facebook page and everything before it was ready to show, but now I'm kind of relegating that to the Discord. Even then, I probably shouldn't be doing it as often. So if you want,
we'll see how if it leaks or anything like that.
If you want to see how sneak peeks, just hop in the Discord. But anyway, yeah. So as far as the project itself, we don't have a set launch date yet for the Gamefound. Like, we're aiming for later this year, because we obviously want to we want to get it going as soon as possible, but we don't want to rush it, because we want to be able to confidently hit the print button after funding. Like, we don't want to sit there and wait.
We want to be in a position where we could, but we want to work with the factory with everything finalized, and make sure there's going to be some back and forth with samples and stuff like that, because we can't really start the printing process until we get the money from the kicks from the Gamefound. So there will be some delay there, but with the game development will be done. The art will be done. The sculpts will be done.
Yeah, when I say hit the print button, I'm talking about like just starting the process, because some companies can come in and use crowdfunding for a pre-order system, like a marketing thing, which is fine. I mean, it's great for that. But companies like us, where we're going to need the capital to actually start get the gears in motion of paying the factory the advances and everything, getting the samples. So we're going to have the game ready to go as much as possible. We just want to make sure the funding's locked down before you take it to the next step. But anyway, the launch date is tentative, later this year, 2025. Hope, fingers crossed. There is a chance, we're not sure about this yet, but it's highly likely that the campaign is going to include the game and like a deluxe edition of the books, which are the first 3 books in the Malice of Light, which is a 6-book series. Those are available. Books 1 and 2 are available now. What we're wanting to do is we want to do like a new branded like Twin Tail Studios version of these, because I self-published these books originally, but we want to put them under the Twin Tail Studios umbrella. So the goal is to be able to print the game and then print some books with it, and the backers could get the cool exclusive edition of these books, re-edited, relaid out in a new format, really cool like compact hardcovers and a slipcase. So all that's tentative, obviously, but that's the goal. So that's the scope of the project. And I think we've mentioned before that we're not doing a big box with a lot of expansions. The goal is to have a concise, elegant, really well produced board game that's just easy to turn around, so we can have a proof of concept of what our company can do, essentially.
Yeah, our experience with crowdfunding when we worked at, like, for example, we worked at Blacklist, it seems like the mentality there was like, let's set a super low funding goal to let it fund as fast as possible, even if in my mind it wasn't enough to actually print the game. Like it wasn't safe.
We didn't know, but
yeah, it's like there's like, no, we were just told, nope, we're going to do this, we want to get it funded right away, and we're going to have tons and tons of stretch goals. I'm like, and I never knew, to me it never made sense in the budget. Like, how is this gonna work? Like, how is this gonna, and clearly it didn't. Like that mentality,
it's not sustainable.
That business model just didn't work. So we're more interested, and we're gonna figure out the total to print the game and everything like that, including any kind of padding for unexpected tariffs or whatever crap we have to deal with, and basically have that full amount be the funding goal. And then we're gonna also do some cool like daily unlocks or whatever, not stretch goals, not monetary unlocks, because it's cool to unlock stuff during a campaign to like see some cool new things being added to the game, with the initial plan to be like we want to have a funding goal that could print that, like it was safe enough to manufacture that product as is. So that's kind of how we're approaching it. Not really a hype machine, more just like a realistic goal. Like, this is what we need to do this. Hopefully you want to join us and make it happen. So
yep, and we'll have an actual date. Once we get more things in order. We need to have more componentry. We need to have more testing done. But it's things are moving in the right direction. So I think it's very realistic we can launch this thing before the end of the year. But again, we won't rush it. We're not gonna just try to race it out the door or something like that. We have a goal we're aiming for, and we'll do our best to hit it. So yeah, that's the press release. I think that covers most of what's in there, but you can read more online. There's going to be on twintailstudios.com. We'll have the press release there. It should be up there now. I scheduled it to post 6 a.m. on the 12th. But now we can talk more about the game itself if you want like some more details, or we can go into listener questions. Anything we should do?
That's probably going to be like overlap anyway, so we can just jump right into what people were asking in the Discord about the little teaser Brady dropped. So Brady dropped an image of the game with the books. That it's in the press release. So if you've seen the press release, you know what I'm talking about.
I should mention too that the book 3, the Smoldering Vein, the art, while it looks awesome, that cover looks awesome. Chris Delman put that together. That's kind of a placeholder, because there's actually art being done for the cover that's in the similar vein as the first 2 in the series. So it'll be a more cohesive looking display. But yeah, that's just kind of a placeholder image.
All right, so we'll just go into this. Most of these Discord users who posted questions, they posted multiple questions, and so I'll just do one at a time or whatever. So this first one was 1 to 4 players.
This is from the
Joyful Jedi. I don't know if we wanted to call it names or not, but
yeah, I mean, yeah. So you can use their tag and just say who.
The Joyful Jedi asks a few questions. First off, 1 to 4 players, and yes, that's correct. The game is designed. It's a cooperative game designed for 1 to 4 players with solo play, obviously possible, like most of our games. The next question was 30 minutes per player. I think that it's probably more something along the lines of like 45 minutes plus something per player. Like,
yeah, there's because this game is unique to other games because each session, while you can break the sessions up if you want, because each session is 3 acts. So acts 1 and 2 are these encounters. You set a tile out. It's a very quick setup. Put the enemies out, shuffle some cards, and you go. But there is that kind of in between where it's not like a lot of resetting, but you do have to kind of set the board up twice, to put a tile out and get the cards ready. But each encounter consists of a very small deck of event cards and some scheme cards, so it's a very quick setup. But because of that, it's a little different than just like being able to time it per player. But it is designed to be quick. Like we designed a game where you could play this comprehensive like roguelike experience over the course of a single session if you wanted to, and it wouldn't feel overbearing.
Yeah, and as we answer these questions, we're going to try to keep it a little bit vague because we don't want to spoil too much as the build up to launching the Gamefound.
And things can still change.
Yeah, and things might still change because the game is designed, but it's been in development now where we're play testing and tweaking things. So things could change, but the overall concept should be the same. Next question was campaign or scenario game, and I'm going to go ahead and just say both.
It's in between, yeah, because
it is a campaign in the fact that there's leveling up and progression, but it's all isolated into single play sessions. Yeah. So, like Brady said, you could play each individual act and then take a break and come back and play later. So you have 3 sessions, but it's designed to be played in one session. You play Act 1. Play Act 2, and then you play Act 3, and throughout the course of those acts, you will be getting upgrades, and your character will get more powerful. It's before you fight the boss.
Yeah, and it's I feel like a broken record, but like with our inspiration, which is primarily Raven's Watch, and then more recently Elden Ring, Night Rain came out, and it follows a very similar model where you go into that 3-act structure. So you're getting that progression, and you're getting a lot of that campaign feel, but it's in a consolidated time frame where it's like a single session. So.
The next question is cards only or dudes on a map, and that's an easy one. It has miniatures. The game has miniatures on a board, very much like visually reminiscent of Street Masters. Like if you see it on the table, it's going to be a small tile with miniatures and
not hex based, but yeah, it'll have a tile, and the cards are not as rigid as like Street Masters. They're much more fluid, the card, but we'll get into that more. We'll get into more specifics, but yeah, there is a little bit of card play too.
Next one was how similar to your previous works in the fantasy setting, like Altar Quest, Heroes of Terranoth, or Warhammer Quest Descent. So I would say when it comes to Heroes of Terranoth and Warhammer Quest, the adventure card game, there's a lot of similarities in the dice system.
You'll see some DNA for sure.
If you like the dice system from that game, then you'll like it here. I will say there might be elements of our design philosophy that you can find in all of our games. So there'll be some similarities, but it doesn't play like Altar Quest or Descent.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most fluid game we've designed. Like maybe rivaled only by Hour of Need because of how that was designed for 6 players, because that one was meant to like be extremely slippery. This one is probably our most fluid and it just like tightly. Each turn feels really tight, so it's a really quick playing game.
The next one, this is still the same person, Joyful Jedi. What makes this unique? And
it's tricky because like I mean I don't think I've played. I mean I know there's roguelike board games out there, and I know like there's one that I hear referenced a lot, the Slay the Spire. I haven't played it yet, but apparently it does a good job adding co-op to the tabletop experience because it's a single player video game. But I think this is unique in the sense where we set out to fill a void that we felt in the market. So having this game that's trying to accomplish what a video game like Raven's Watch does, which is capture that 3-act feel in a consolidated amount of time. And I think that this will be easier answered once we release more details about the game and do more updates, because like Adam said, we don't want to give like too much away. But I also want to emphasize that Adam and I don't design to only be unique. Like we like to aim for fun. Like fun is more important to us than unique.
I think the question could be taken in a couple ways, where it's either how is this unique from other games in the market, or how is this unique compared to our previous works.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I would just say the uniqueness, regardless of either of those, is the fact that it's got roguelike elements, where it's there might be other games that do that, but it's still unique because there's not a lot of games. It's not like tons of games to do.
Yeah, the hard way to answer that is like I play a lot of games, like, especially like co-op solo games, and I haven't played a game like this. So I mean that's unique to me, but we can't exactly say all the reasons why, because a lot of that's going to be our update content. So stand by.
And the last question from the Joyful Jedi was, does reading the books enrich the experience in some way?
I will say yes. Like enrich is the key word there. Absolutely enriches the experience, because you'll see character names, you'll see character pieces of art, like I know who this character is. And an example of that, one of my buddies who's a beta reader of mine, he reads all my books, and he's a huge fan of Avram. And he was, when I was talking about this game, saying we were developing a game based on the Malice of Light, he's like, "Oh, you better have Avram in there." And I teased the cover image of Avram on the cover. And he's like, "Yes!" He's so stoked to see him there. So that's an example of like, yeah, this is someone who reads the books, and they're going to be very enriched by playing these characters that they know and love. So
yeah, I mean, I think you can compare it to like any licensed game. It's like, you could take, for example, our old Walking Dead game. If somebody played that game without knowing the Walking Dead, they might enjoy it. Yeah. But like a fan of the show would be like, "Oh, I want to play as Shane, or I want to play as Rick." They know the characters, and they're more invested in it. Yeah. So I mean, I would say, of course, it would enrich your experience, unless you just hate the book.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, two counterpoints to that is this game specifically is not telling the story of the books. Like, the books tell a specific story. This game is more taking elements from that world and letting you just do kind of like what if scenarios. So you're going to be fighting enemies that are referenced in the book, but maybe not the same characters are fighting them, and it's not the same storyline that's playing out. It's just these themes are inspiring the game content. So that's very important to me, because I don't ever feel like it's needed to play through a linear story that already exists. The games should be a sandbox for you to play in that world of a story that, if you're reading a series of books and you like that story, then the game should allow you to do your own stories in that world, which is what this is meant to do. So
cool. And that is it for those group of questions. Next
Thanks
is
for the questions, Joyful Jedi.
Nemesis Nate has a few questions. The first one is a very short question. It just says MDS ? And for those who might not know, that was a reference to the modular deck system, which is a moniker we came up with to kind of label our games that we did with Blacklist games, where the game was comprised of a player deck, an enemy deck, and then an environment deck that you mix and match different combinations to set your game up. This is not an MDS game, but like I said before, you will see elements of that. The game you pick a hero to play as. The two first acts, actually everything can be randomized. So the acts are all independent of themselves. The boss is independent of himself, of everything else. So you can play any act 1, any act 2, and then any boss, and you can mix and match all those combinations that are in the game to make your own game. So there is that kind of modular nature, but the game is not deck based.
Yeah. Well, there's decks, but they're not like, it's not the same way where the MDS was designed mostly to kind of like draw and play, like draw a boss card, play that boss card. This has like, an event deck for the encounter, but you're just flipping it over and just resolving the effect. So it's not as rigid in that regard. It's not like as driven by the cards. It's the actions much more on the tactical element and the much more fluid card play.
The next question we did touch on, but I do want to kind of expand on that, is will you all use Gamefound? And as we mentioned from the press release, absolutely, we are going to Gamefound.
Stoked for it.
And very excited about it. I'm honestly surprised more people don't use Gamefound. I honestly don't know why people would use Kickstarter for tabletop games anymore. Like, Gamefound is just so much better. I've heard people complaining about certain things that they don't like about Gamefound, but I just can't really relate to them.
Yeah, there are some people who really, and this is like, this is not to call somebody out, but I was listening to the Secret Cabal, and they're not huge fans of the user experience. But I think that's so personal, because when I go on there, like, I love the what do you call it, like the table of contents on the side. You go to the store, like, it's all organized very easily. I don't see anything superior on the Kickstarter side, because all that is a big empty page,
Yeah, but I think it's probably, maybe it's simpler to process and people are just used to it, I guess. Yeah. But for me, it's just Gamefound is just superior in every way, and I can see why it's becoming more and more popular. And I think we'll see more and more publishers using it in the future. At least I hope so, because I really like it, and I honestly don't think I'll back anything on Kickstarter anymore.
I don't even check Kickstarter anymore.
Yeah, I don't even look at Kickstarter. So yeah, Gamefound all the way for us. Maybe we'll change our tune if our campaign goes horribly or something. But as long as our game funds and we can produce it and everything goes well, we will plan on sticking with Gamefound probably for all of our projects. So that's Gamefound for us. Next question by Nemesis Nate is one that's might be a hot topic for some people. Is space for sleeves with his crossed fingers? Hoping
Absolutely
for it?
Not. No. Like I'm not. I won't say one or the other. I do not like sleeves at all. I get why some people use them because they have trouble shuffling or whatever. Like, I'm of the opinion where cards are meant to be played. They're meant to be beat up. There's no reason to keep them pristine. And if that worried about it, just buy another copy, because
so it's tough for me because, like, Brady, as Brady said, neither of us like sleeves, so it's really hard to keep it in mind where it's like something to compensate for when it's not something we don't even like. It's not that we don't use them, which we actively don't like them.
Yeah, no, I hate them, and I think if anybody like designs games, they'll probably hate them too, because like they just, when you're prototyping, sleeves are just so obnoxious. And like the other thing too, it bugs me is because, like, I know some people, like, they want like these component wells to accommodate sleeves, but the problem is that kind of makes it so the people who don't use sleeves have less effective components, because there's too much space.
If your card wells are too wide, the cards are shuffling around and stuff like that. But also you're losing space.
Yeah,
like space is a premium when it comes to a board game. Obviously, you only have so much space to work with, so we want card wells to be only as wide as they need to be to fit as many cards as are in the game. Sleeves basically double that, like the amount of cards you need to because they take up so much more space, but also on the sides, because you need to be wider whether the cards are vertical or horizontal, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's a challenge. We're obviously not going to like ignore people that want us to accommodate sleeves or whatever. So if there's a huge demand for it, like we're gonna listen. But it's going to be tough because we want really good storage for the game. We want it to fit really well in the box, and it's hard to juggle that between sleeve versus no sleeve. I honestly don't even know what the percentage of people who sleeve is. I don't know.
It's like, it's the two things that get me. It's like I want to be respective of people who do use sleeves, but I think I hate sleeves that much that it's hard for me to be empathetic. Because like, I hate them. But also, I thought it was funny. I don't know if this has ever been done, because I haven't seen it done, but I'm wondering if there's a cost-effective way with those vac trays to have like a plug that's kind of like the normal one, where it's like fits unsleeved cards and you pop it out, and then like that's for the sleeved cards. Yeah. It's an extra cost probably because it's that plug, but I'm wondering if that's a solution. I don't know. We'll
still,
look into
the
it.
Jostling around on the sides is still a problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, Nemesis Nate, didn't mean to jump on you about sleeves there, but you hit a hot topic for us.
Coming out hot.
All right, that's it for Nemesis Nate. Thanks for those questions, buddy. We got Blackheart Paladin up next. Will there be a standard and deluxe version? I'm going to go ahead and say no, because we really want to keep this project simple, and we want the game to be a deluxe version, and like we want people to have a deluxe version. Now, that's not to say we want like some $300 game. We're trying to keep it very reasonably priced.
Yeah, I think with those standard and deluxe things, that's usually because there's so much content to justify that, where it's like somebody wants to come in with an affordable option. We're trying to make this deluxe and affordable, where it's like, I won't say what the MSRP of this game is going to be until we see the final quotes and everything, but we were always aiming for like maybe like an $80 game that's like really deluxe and really comprehensive.
Well, nowadays it's probably more like 90 to 90.
Yeah. Like, well, we'll see what that comes down to, but still, like, to me, it's like under $100 is a win. Like, $100 board game is affordable to me because it's a luxury hobby. But if we can make under $100, I don't think there's a reason to make a standard versus a deluxe edition. So
I know you guys mentioned prior that you didn't want to get crazy with stretch goals, but any expansions coming with this one, or is that a future plan after seeing how it does? We don't want to do expansions, so I know that's kind of like the practice these days, but I know like an old man yelling at the sky or whatever, but like I do miss the days where publishers would just put out a game, like, here's a release a game, and if people like it, here, let's expand it. Nowadays, when you go to crowdfunding and you back a game and like 5 expansions all at once, It's just I don't like that. Like, I don't like it.
I think the majority of the time people just don't even get a chance to experience it because it's just overwhelming. And like, it's weird saying that because I still get excited about it. Like, I'm stoked to get Lance of Evershade and that all those boxes comes with it. But like, I do think that if it came out like the game next year, an expansion, like it's spaced out, it'd be so much more exciting because you could really enjoy that. But getting it all at once probably is going to feel very overwhelming. So
and you just probably don't get to them like right away. It's like so. Marvel United is a great example. Yeah. I like that game, but I just got so much stuff all at the same time that I never wanted to try to scratch the surface of it. You know, I've played a lot of it, but like
happened to me with Final Girl too, because the first 2 seasons of Final Girl I was in love, and I got season 3, and I just felt like I wasn't ready for it. And I was like, I haven't got a chance to explore it yet. And
I mean, that being said, we definitely would love to expand this game. Like,
this game being based in the Malice of Light, which is a world that I obviously love, and I want to keep writing books in it. So there's a lot of world to explore, and the system is so like. When we get more into details about the design philosophy of this game and like, you know, kind of its background, you can kind of see how we'd be so excited about the design space in it because a lot of iterations of this game had limited design space, and this version of the game, it just feels like it's so much more expandable. So we'd love to capitalize on that. But again, I think our goal right now is to get this out, get it available, and show everybody what we can do. And then, you know, if it does well and it's got a fan base, then hell yeah, we'll have plenty to expand on from there.
And this kind of follows up that question. The next question kind of goes off of that one. It's what kind of time frame do you see before play testing, crowdfunding, campaign, production, etc.? So as Brady mentioned, we're hoping to launch this Gamefound this year. Like, that's the goal before the end of the year. And we won't launch the Gamefound until the game is done, like ready to go. As far as like art and sculpts and, you know, playtesting and everything like that, like the game is good to go. That's when the Gamefound is going to go up. So the printing will happen shortly after funding ends. We get the funds. We can start the samplings and everything with the factory, and then the typical production cycle is like a few months. So after the Gamefound ends, a few months after that, shipping fulfillment should start. That's the goal. So
yeah, I think you know, what we would love to happen is being able to launch before the end of the year and being delivered in the spring, you know, early summer, like well before Gen Con. That's the goal. So yeah, we'll see. We'll have more updated timelines as we get along, but I think my goal currently, I'm trying to like narrow my focus. I want to be done with most of the content for the game by the end of this month, by the end of August. So,
and then his next question is, he's curious if there will be more of a player board with trackers or something more like your other games with cards. So this is another thing that's going to be a little unique with this game compared to our other games, is we are planning on having little hero boards that would...
Not little. Pretty good size hero boards.
They're not. They're
not huge. I'm just saying, like, no.
They're little. They're to basically have little tracks with cubes that would track your health and other resources that are in the game. Also, like how many dice you're rolling for certain actions. Wonder what that means. But yeah, it's... There are cards in the game. You have cards that you can, you know, play out of your hand, stuff like that. But there will be a player board that kind of tracks, kind of trying to lighten up the token needs of so many tokens in our game. We don't want to have tons of tokens in this game.
Yeah, anybody who's played Street Masters knows how the early versions of that game, you could have stacks of 50 defense tokens, and it's just unwieldy.
And then also these tracks have a nice built-in cap, so it's like you can't have more than this track. So yes, that's going to have player boards on this one. His next question was game trays, question mark, with a Z. That's the company that makes custom game trays. We do want to have a cool like storage solution tray in the game, in the box, but I don't think we're going to be worrying about like partnering with someone else to do that. I think we're just going to work with the manufacturer.
Yeah, most factories, that seem like have really upped their game in that regard, so I'm not sure if Game Trays has been losing business in that regard.
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about that, but I do know that we met with a couple manufacturers at Gen Con, and I've seen some samples of what they can do, and it might be kind of expensive, but I think we're going to have a cool like little storage solution in the box. So next question was, wasn't a question, but he said the box art alone looks awesome, and gotta say the Twin Tails logo looks damn good on a box, and I will agree with that.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see that.
This next question Brady already answered in the Discord, but we can talk about it. Is there any AI in the game art. I've been hurt before. That aside, very excited, especially with the next iteration of Heroes of Terranoth, Warhammer Quest, the card game saga. So yes, as Brady replied to this guy, Dano Super. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I pronounced that properly, but sorry, I said that guy. I don't know if it's I apologize.
This user.
This
member.
Brady replied, we definitely don't condone the use of AI art in products. We would never do it ourselves.
The question was, do you use AI art in the game? It's a hell no. We do not. We pay artists. We pay a lot of money for art. So I maybe get a little more defensive on this question because there have been several times on the
okay, just to be fair, not like we don't overpay for art.
I'm not saying that.
We buy a lot of art.
Yeah, I'm just saying art's expensive, man. That's like one of the biggest fixed costs in games. So it's I'm not saying that like the artists don't deserve the money we're paying. I'm just saying that like that's what hinders a lot of people from making this kind of content, because art, you need good art, you got to pay artists for what you want out of them. So yeah, we do pay for art, and I wanted to jump on that right away because I've gotten that question before, because I'm an independently published author, self-published author, and a lot of self-published authors do not buy illustrations for their covers. They have like a graphic designer mock something up. So whenever I show a cover, I get accused of using AI art because they're like, oh, why does this guy have illustrations on his cover? It's got to be AI. So no, I hire artists, and I get a little touchy when people think it's AI. So
yes. So obviously there is a challenge where you can never know what kind of AI tools artists use themselves to assist in their workflow. All I can tell you is that we hire artists.
Yeah, that's kind of my stance. Like I don't want to say it's okay for an artist to use AI when they're getting paid to do art, but at the same time, all I care about is that I'm hiring an artist, and like they're making art for me for the money. So it's like whatever AI is in their process, AI tools exist, whatever. But yeah, we're not using Gen AI. We're not using generative AI to make our artwork. We're hiring artists to do it. So,
and as far as we know, the artists we talk to that we work with do not use.
Yeah,
they don't like AI art.
The art studio we use is against AI art, and they are annoyed because some clients go with AI art instead, and it's frustrating. So, and I get that for sure. So, hire real artists, people.
All right, one more question then. Steve from the Co-op Guild asked, how far in your book series does your game cover?
So yeah, this is another interesting question that goes back to the other one, because the game does not tell the story of the books. So there are characters from the first 3 books, characters and places, I guess you would say. So there's a lot pulled from the books, but because this is not a linear story you're playing through from a player standpoint, you're just mixing and matching characters and themes from this world. So yeah, it's pulling from everything that exists so far. The 3rd book in this series I'm drafting right now. I'm hoping to have it done by the time this game launches, because I have an editor standing by to edit it. So yeah, it's going to pull from those first 3 books, and actually some of the content is from beyond, because Avron's hoo-ha is from book 4. So
that's not the phrase you're looking for. I think he's talking about a weapon of some sort. Yeah, so that's it for Discord user questions.
Yeah, thanks for all those questions, everybody. And I'm sorry if we didn't give everyone enough time to submit their questions, but I put that in on Saturday because I knew we had to record today, and I wanted to see if I could at least get some questions. So we really appreciate you submitting those, and we'll do another episode, obviously, once the press release has had time to simmer, and we're going to do probably a celebratory podcast about the release of our upcoming novel, Ransom Creek Remains, which is our first co-authored novel.
Wouldn't it be cool if we did a game on that one too?
That'd make a really cool game cover.
I don't know if you guys can hear this cat purring. It's like so loud.
Loxley he's a purring machine. So that brings us to about an hour. So that's an episode. Unless you want to finish off with a little what you've been watching, what you've been reading, what you've been playing.
Being sick, haven't been very active doing much at all. But I have been rewatching Peacemaker season 1 in preparation for the release of season 2.
Can't wait.
This month, I think the 21st, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready for that new Alien Earth series. I want to watch.
That's today, because this comes out on the 12th. That starts today.
Yeah, I'm going to start watching that. So Yeah, it's pretty much, I've been playing some video games like normal, working on the game, doing work at the day job stuff, but yeah, being sick and all, haven't been too active. I did a little bit of painting on my Kill Team terrain. I'm hoping to maybe do some more of that today, if I have some free time.
So. Oh yeah, I get my IKEA shelf, my little closet shelf for my miniature stuff. I got to put that up somewhere in the loft and get back to assembling terrain.
We got to play test at some point too.
I forget if last time we talked about Fantastic Four. That's what we went to see, right? Last time
I thought we talked about it.
Yeah, so
I thought we did.
No,
we stopped the episode earlier to go see it.
Yeah, we were going to see it. So that was pretty fun. I liked that.
I did enjoy it.
I also rewatched Peacemaker in preparation, and I'm already done rewatching it. Love it. I'm actually listening to the podcast that James Gunn is doing for the DC podcast to do a rewatch of that. It's pretty fun to listen to. Still reading The Witcher, Blood of Elves. Still thinking those chapters are way too long. And then
make sure he doesn't turn that podcast off there.
Yeah. And then I've been reading Mark Latham's The Last Vigilant still, which I'm almost 2/3 of the way through. Great book. Pick it up. It's from Orbit Books, The Last Vigilant. I think it's the Kingdom of Sword or the Kingdom of Iron and Oak. I forget what it is, but yeah, Mark A. Latham. Pick it up. But yeah, that's what I've been reading. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll have some more content to discuss next time. Hopefully we'll be saying, hey, we're playtesting now, open playtests, and move things along. So I'm going to go write the rule book because it's taking too long.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care.